if you've seen RCD before, we talked about that Bermuda Triangle, kind of the funny stories about the Bermuda Triangle. Things get lost, navigational equipment quits working, people don't know where people are at in there, all of those mysteries. And that's a lot how school discipline looks. When we looked at it before, we talked about it often looks like an activity or a process or a difficult moment starts to happen between a teacher and a student. And when that starts to happen, the trouble is the administrator can't see that situation. And so the administrator isn't always confident of how the teacher handled that moment. And I'm very much a teacher advocate because most of us in teacher training did not get a lot of preparation for how to deal with a challenging moment in our class. In fact, we were told if our lesson was good and we were engaging, kids wouldn't misbehave. And so when those things pop up, it causes teachers a great deal of stress, and often their brain goes into fight, flight, or freeze, and it's very hard to know what to do with that student. And so when that is not known, principals and administrators or counselors or social workers or whoever may be working with the kid if they're outside of the classroom can be in the position of questioning how the teacher did it. You hear them say things like, maybe they should talk to the kid. The kid's pretty good for me. They don't seem upset when they're down here. Or even things like, I can bet I know which classroom that kid came from, which is saying we're not trusting the conversation and the process with the teacher and the student. So one of the goals is to clean that up to where we have a process that's very consistent and our teachers are very skilled at that moment. So there's no longer any question or stress and we can fully be in a supportive position to the teacher. I tell schools often that in an RCD school, a teacher will often get a high five from a principal when they send a kid to the office. Because if the teacher did it well and with the skills we're asking for, we're going to check on that, and if it's done well, we want to tell that teacher, great job. That's all you could do. Thank you. We're going to pick up where you left off and work with this student. That alone would take that teacher's stress. Instead of going up and down, it could go more steady, and they can go home with energy for their own family. So one process we have to get in place